Hello and welcome to another video. This time I'll be making a small, simple rattle as a gift for a friend. The rattle is made out of walnut, Danish walnut, and Danish beech wood. Two simple woods that are common here. The Danish walnut is not as dominating in color as French and American walnut, but when it gets oil on the center part, it becomes nice and dark. The idea I'm going for with this rattle is a rather simple one. My friend and his girlfriend are both a mixture of science and of creativity. So I've decided to, in lieu of that, make a rattle that is shaped like a measuring flask from the laboratory. I am myself a chemist, so I have held plenty of these, and my good friend is also a scientist, and he has also worked with these a lot. So the idea will be to make a flask that looks like it has some liquid in it, which will be represented with the walnut, and the neck will be of beech wood. Now the reason I choose walnut and beech is because both of these woods are safe for children to gnaw in and lick and whatever they want to do in general. A problem will always be if you choose something like oak or yew. While they are pretty, they contain, in oak's case, a lot of acids, which are, well, nasty tasting and might not be that good for a child. And yew is, well, semi-poisonous if you get too much of the dust. So, not a good thing to be gnawing on. And both walnut and beech are harder woods, so if you used some pine, it would leave a mark. The beech will leave a mark if they're teeth, but it can withstand a lot. So overall, the process is, as so many others, simple turning on the lathe. Um, but I also chose to have the walnut going with the grains out. So instead of churning with the grains going along the axis of the lathe, I have them going against it. This is because it will give the most color and it's easier when I'm drilling into it and making this shape. So the shape of the bottom of the flask needs to be shaped first, and then I'll drill into it, and this will allow for the feeling and the rattling sound to be more enunciated. There's always a difficult decision of how thick you should make the walls, and it's a lot of guesswork sometimes. Because if you make the walls too thick, it won't break, but you won't get much sound out of it. If you make the sides too thin, you'll get a lot of sound, but you also risk the first time it's dropped on the floor, and if you are planning on a child playing with it, it will hit the floor. So that's always something you have to be careful of and have in mind when you're working with this for it to be actually used. I prefer the things I make be used in some regard. I don't always like the thing just being somewhere looking pretty. I would like it to be used and to be enjoyed. And I have seen, I have through my girlfriend gifted it on, and I have seen pictures of the young, the young child enjoying the gift. So it has been well received at least. So in making something for children, it is exceedingly important that you think even more about food safety, because unlike an adult, you can be sure that they're not going to put the thing in the mouth. Well, this one, I expect the child to put it in the mouth to, yeah, well, they can't put it up their nose, but damn well, if they could, they would. Children are fascinating like that. But it also needs to be a little robust. The glue I'm using is Tide Bond 3, which is food safe. Of course, food safe as food safe go, but it is non-toxic, at least. Should not cause harm to ingest it. And, well, it's the glue used when you make cutting boards and other utensils for the kitchen. So it is rather safe. The oil I coat it with later is a food grade coat from Hampshire Sheen. I'm not affiliated or anything like that, but that's the one I use. And covering that, I use 3 layers of beeswax. And beeswax is not toxic, and it's, well, just beeswax. It'll taste a little of honey and it'll taste mainly of wax. But it'll protect the wood and it'll protect the child from, well, the wood, if there should be anything bad in the wood. And it gives a nice sheen, and when it gets a polish, it keeps the sheen and gives a nice matted surface later. I am not a huge proponent of these super shiny items that people sometimes make with wood turning. These bowls and other things that are so chock full of additives to make them shine and keep their shine. Wood is not shiny. I mean, we give them oil to bring out the color of the wet wood. Now the oil will just stay there, unlike if you make the wood wet. But you can add preservatives and other things, so when you have put all your coats of different kinds of waxes and lacks, they'll stay and it'll shine like some polished metal. And that's not, in my opinion, what it's supposed to look like. So I prefer a much simple oil and beeswax or paste wax or other similar products that do their job, which is to keep the oil from evaporating and keeping it having this wet, oily look, but not with an, well, quote unquote, unnatural shine that wood would never have. So, those are some general thoughts about it. The shaving of the handle is mainly for an aesthetic purpose. I am working on a design for a new rattle, which will be more about the senses for the children. So it'll have different knobs on it and so on that the child can feel. It'll be a simple long instead of a bowl and so on. So it'll be a stick which is hollow with rice grains inside, like this one has rice grains inside, that the child can rattle and can feel and play around with, and just adapt the senses of their hands. The whole point of giving children strange items and different sensations, it is for them to feel different things. So I hope that my vision of this measuring flask rattle shows here in the end. Thank you for watching another of my videos, and have an amazing day.